Most indie devs underestimate what one finished game can do to their life. A single tiny game can be the spark that changes everything. It gives you credibility, identity, and a real shot at making money online with something that you actually enjoy. There's one line that makes it almost impossible to fail if you follow the plan, and I'll show you that in a second. First, if you are a beginner stuck in tutorial hell, this is made specifically for you. But I'm going to be honest with you. Your first game is not going to make you a millionaire, but it will put you in the tiny percentage of beginners that actually have something to publish, something to show to employers, and something to put on a store page. What happens when you stack a few of these? Well, you're suddenly the type of person who builds games people are going to pay for. And it's not like SmartIndie is just about one specific engine, one specific game. I'll first help you pick the engine that fits the best for you. Then I'll walk you through how to release your first game step by step fast. Just to make it simple and you know what you're getting yourself into, let's walk through everything that you're going to walk through if you join SmartIndie. Also, this is not going to be in one specific order, so if you already have made a few experiments, for example, then you can obviously just skip through the section that applies to you. But if you are a beginner, then this is going to be your exact path. First, I'm going to give you an introduction to game development. You'll learn why game development is such a powerful skill. You'll learn the essential tools and what game engines you're going to use to get started quickly. As I promised, you're also going to get the game engine selection guide, where I'll walk you through which game engine that you should pick based on what games you want to make and the developer you want to become. This is going to be quick, it's going to be short, and it's going to be the one that fits the best for you, so that you aren't going to waste time just switching game engines. Then you'll walk on through learning the basics. This is where you're going to understand how learning actually works. This is going to lay the foundation to actually becoming a game developer that can actually learn game development and be able to have the skills to finish and release your first game. You'll also learn how games are structured, how games are made, and the core engine concepts behind every single game engine. I'll also provide you with an introduction video to the game engine of your choice. After you learn the basics, the next session is going to be writing your first script. This is where you finally learn what a script is, how to write and debug your own code, and how to improve your scripting skills as we go. After you learn scripting the right way, you're going to start making your first small prototypes. The reason I say small is that we're going to start small and we're going to start smart. You're going to choose your first prototype, and then you're going to follow the exact development process, plan it properly, and even get a free asset guide to speed things up. After a few weeks of making prototypes, you should have a fundamental knowledge about how to script, how to make prototypes, and how to make systems. And now we can finally move on to preparing for your first game. At this point, you should know roughly 80% of the things that you need to make a game, and we're going to walk through how to plan your game step by step the right way, and actually plan out something that you can actually finish and something that you can actually release. And the last section inside of SmartIndie is going to be finish your first game. This is where you lock in your results. First, you'll build a routine that actually keeps you consistent. Then you'll learn to set deadlines that you can actually finish. And you'll learn how to adapt the plan if things comes in your way. After that, you completed the entire SmartIndie blueprint and you finally released your first game. You can post it in the community, and I will even beta test your game just before release to give you the feedback you need to make an awesome first game. With that being said, here's the truth that nobody tells beginners. Tutorials won't turn you into a game developer. You can follow along perfectly and still not understand what's happening in the tutorials. And that's because watching is not learning. You only grow by actually building, by finishing small projects, and by making mistakes and actually fixing them yourself. SmartIndie gives you the structure and accountability to do exactly that. Who am I to speak about this? Well, I spent years stuck in tutorial hell, thinking I was improving, but in reality, I wasn't. This is exactly what I needed. Because the moment I started experimenting on my own, everything changed for me. I released my first game. And small indie games don't need to be masterpieces to give you opportunities. My early project led to opportunities, credibility, and the first time I actually earned real money from something I built myself. And that's why so many beginners underestimate how important finishing your first game really is. SmartIndie is built upon exactly what worked for me and what took me years to realize, combined with proven science-backed learning principles that guarantee your progress. But I just want to make it clear, SmartIndie is not for everyone. SmartIndie is not for advanced developers. SmartIndie is not for those that want to make a AAA game on their first attempt. And it's definitely not for people who just expect to be spoon-fed with a video every single click. SmartIndie is for beginners who actually want to ship something real, to go from stuck and overwhelmed to actually finish and releasing something within only 60 days, and finally be able to call themselves a game developer. You can even do it with short, focused sessions. 2 hours a day is all it takes, maybe even less, when you're following a system that cuts all the noise. And now I know you might be asking, why would I pay when YouTube is free? And let me tell you, YouTube is great for curiosity, but it's terrible for progress. Free content just pulls you in every single direction with no structure or finish line. SmartIndie gives you one clear path to your first released game, which is the point where opportunities and income actually become possible. You're not just paying for information, you're paying for the system that gets you where you want to be. And as I promised, here's the one line that makes this offer completely bulletproof. You'll go from stuck in tutorials to a fully released game within only 60 days. Or I'll coach you for free until you release. This is going to take all the risk from you. And by the way, the people that finish one game are almost always the people that go on to finish more. That's where the long-term money, opportunities and freedom actually come from. So click the yellow join button right now to get instant access to everything inside of SmartIndie. This could be the exact moment that you're going to look back on and say that's when things actually started. The creators who eventually earn money from the games didn't get there by luck. They got there by finishing their first game. Click join now and let's ship your first game together.